I called to order this hearing on the nomination of Mr. Joseph A. Smith, Jr. of North Carolina to be Director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency. Mr. Smith is no stranger to this committee or to the challenges of implementing financial reforms. As Commissioner of Banks, who is responsible for implementing and enforcing North Carolina's anti-predatory lending laws, overseeing the state's foreclosure prevention program, and serving on the governor's task force to increase small business lending, to name a few of his accomplishments, all while regulating small and large financial institutions in the state. To highlight some of those accomplishments, I'd like to enter into the record letters from the Independent Community Bankers Association, the Conference of State Bank Supervisors, the Mortgage Bank Association, and the National Association of Realtors. Thank you for your willingness to serve at the federal level, especially at a time when our country is trying to overcome significant economic challenges. Balancing consumer protection and credit availability, regulation, and economic growth will be extremely important for creating a sustainable housing and economic recovery. I look forward to learning more about your work and how you view the role of Director of FHFA. Mr. Smith, we spoke a little about this in my office, but I think it is an important question to get on the record. The director is in a unique position because FHFA is both a conservator and regulator of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. As conservator, the agency is responsible for the operations of the entities as well as regulating these operations. How do you plan to balance those roles?
Senator, I believe that those two roles are actually profoundly complementary because as a regulator, the agency seeks to ensure that the enterprises have proper governance, proper risk management, proper operating procedures, that they obey law, and all of these things are consistent with the preservation of their assets and their rehabilitation. And so I think one is an extension of the other, and I think that the agency is, and I think we will continue to deal with that any tension there may be successfully. But I think the two support each other.
Would you cooperate with the investigations of the Inspector General's office?
You mean the FHFA Inspector General?
Yeah.
FHFA has just gotten, after long efforts to do so, an independent Inspector General. And the Inspector General, of course, operates independently. And we will, as a matter of course, I think our activity should be consistent in any event.
In addition to Fannie and Freddie, FHFA regulates the Federal Home Loan Bank, which are not in conservatorship. These institutions fulfilled different but important roles in our financial system. How will you approach the differences and unique characteristics of the home loan banks as you develop policies and regulations?
Senator, as I said in my testimony, I think the home loan banks are crucial, particularly to community banks. And so I will work with staff to come to a full, frankly, understanding of the situation in which each of these banks finds themselves and the system as a whole, its health and operation. And we will work with the managements of those banks to improve them. And also, I would say, I look forward to working with bankers around the country on this issue as well, because as you know, sir, the home loan banks are cooperative organizations, and so it's important to be engaged with bankers themselves about what they are going to do to support the home loan bank system. It's all of the above. We'll take in a lot of information and we'll work together.
Can you talk about how the Federal Home Loan Bank advanced system has functioned in North Carolina during the economic downturn and the impact on financial institutions in the state?
The home loan banks have, over time, during the downturn and before, been an important source of funding to our banks and an important source of advice, if you will, or technical support, and have also been a great assistance to our banks in meeting certain of their affordable housing needs. And it has been crucial over the long term, frankly, Senator, for the home loan banks provide a needed source of funding and support for our banks through all parts of the cycle.
Can you talk about how you used your regulatory position in the state to help address some of the challenges that families are facing during this crisis?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand.
Can you talk about how you used your regulatory position in the state to help address some of the challenges that families are facing
I will.
during this crisis?
We've done several things. First and foremost, we began a licensing system that, over time, it took a long time, removed a number of undesirable characters from the mortgage origination business. The more recent and more apposite answer to your question is that my agency has conducted, first with our own funds and now with funds gotten from a fee on foreclosures, foreclosure prevention. We've organized a foreclosure prevention network, and over the course of the last couple of years have kept 5,000 North Carolina families in their home. It took a lot of effort, and I won't say it's perfect, but we did what we could do to keep families in their homes. Going forward, by the way, I will say that the challenge we face now in North Carolina is that while in the past 2/3, let's say, of the loans were what you might call subprime or high-cost loans to start, 2/3 of the loans now are conventional loans. They're loans that were properly underwritten to families who were fine when the loans were made, and the economic situation in which our state and the nation finds itself has put them up against it. So it's an entirely new and different challenge now.